everybody, Kier Gomes here, and welcome back. All right, starting off 2020 very strong. I appreciate all the love on the Gemini Casino review that I did yesterday. Honestly, I love everything about that deck. I love everything about the Gemini Casino deck, so I was glad that you guys seem to be pretty impressed with it too, and hopefully my review inspired you to pick some up. And in today's episode, we're going to be reviewing another deck that I am really into, that I'm very excited about. That is the Svngali V2 playing cards by Alex Pandrea and Huang. So this deck was released on Christmas morning. It's an absolutely amazing follow-up to the Svngali V1, the Forbidden deck, which I reviewed a few months ago. This deck was definitely one of my favorites of the year for 2019. I have to say, this just makes this review so much more exciting for me. So my thoughts on that deck and more coming up. But before we get started, please do drop a like on this video and subscribe if you haven't already. Without further ado, let's roll that intro and get you guys on your way.
Let's go.
Now, a pretty popular trend right now in playing cards and playing card design has been really creating designs that stand out or that can be unique to a specific outfit or a specific aesthetic for videos and photos. And with the cardistry boom in the last 5 years, I really think that that's grown to influence a lot of deck designs. And this deck is, I think, one of those designs. But it's one of those designs that was done absolutely brilliantly. So, spoiler alert, I do love this deck. Let's get into the review. The tuck box is done in matte cardstock, and it is completely orange. It's kind of this nice, vibrant, almost like burnt orange color. It's a little bit darker, like from far back it might look like red, but it's a really nice orange matte tuck box. The V1 was done in black matte and red foil. This one is done in orange matte and black and white ink. The tuck case is kind of something you could hold this way or this way and it'll make sense, but you can see it says up your sleeve in this nice kind of Western gray font. And then you can see a caricature of a gentleman in a suit with a card up his sleeve. Pretty much makes sense to me. One side of the deck says Svngali, which is the name of the brand. The other side says Concept by Alex Pandrea, designed by Huang. The bottom has some website information about Svngali. The top says 02 because this is V2 of the deck. And the back says 002 up your sleeve. It has a preview of the back design of the cards and says Svngali.co at the bottom. Really nice tuck box. I love this, whether it's just on display. This is kind of a high fashion New York style aesthetic, and I really like that. Like, this could be hanging up in your house as art, and it's really beautiful. Comparing the back of the tuck boxes side by side, you can see that some of the aesthetic hasn't changed. It's really kind of the same, which looks really cool once you've collected all these decks, just to have those backs kind of. So I like it. There's nothing on the inside tongue flaps and nothing on the inside of the box. So let's look at the cards. All right, your back design looks like this. It is a very vibrant orange color with a nice medium-sized white border. And it says new trick in this Western style font in black. And then you can see in even smaller writing, it says Svngali up your sleeve, kind of intertwined or intermingled in that font. And then the centerpiece is a hand that goes from gray to black with a card up its sleeve. Now, this is one of those back designs that I think for some people it's going to take time to grow on you, but for me, I saw this back design and I immediately fell in love for a couple reasons. Number one, I love the messy borders. Like, there's like some like paint splashes and some scratchiness. That was also in the Svngali V1. I think it looked really good. But I also love the black and orange colorway. It's one of my favorite color combinations. And I love the kind of subtle nod to gambling and magic with the up your sleeve theme. I really like that. And I think that's very on point with what Alex Pandrea and Huang offer to the Magic community. It's obviously a one-way back design, so if I hold it this way, it's different from if I hold it this way. However, Alex Pandrea mentioned this when he released the deck. When you fan the cards, you can't really tell. For people with that specific OCD that they like all their cards to be facing the same way, If you fan out the cards, you really can't tell, but then as well, because the text is so blocky, I think it looks good either way. And I don't mind one-way back designs. I just love it. All right, your Ace of Spades looks like this. You get an enlarged spade pip with an orange hand that can also be seen on the back design, kind of covering part of it. And then it says Ace in the corner. It does have some ad copy near the wrist of the hand, and it has standard bicycle indices, which make this deck great for Magic. However, the customization does not stop there, because you also get a custom Ace of Diamonds, which shows a hand holding a black and orange diamond with the branding up above it. You get a custom Ace of Clubs with the hand in orange being the prominent piece, and it says welcome to the club. And the Ace of Hearts is a skeleton hand grabbing a heart and what looks like giving us the middle finger. And then it says reveal your secrets off to the side. These aces are definitely unique and inspired. I love the design. I love the idea of doing 4 completely separate custom aces. It doesn't work for every deck, but for a deck like this, it's kind of a unique perspective on Magic. I think it's perfect, and I really like it. You're also going to get 2 jokers. They're almost identical, but one of them has a reveal. You can see the 7 of Hearts is up the sleeve, so you can use that for a magic effect. It also says jokers are wild. And the other thing is the exact same, only instead of the 7 of Hearts, it's just the back design of the card. So you can always do a color change to do a reveal. Like if you want to force the 7 of Hearts, you can force it mentally. 7 of Hearts is a very popular card to mentally force on somebody. So just kind of a built-in magic effect, and I really like reveals, especially on things like jokers, because they're, for all intents and purposes, they're a card that is not supposed to have a 7 or a number or a pip on it, so I really like that. As far as ad cards and gaff cards go, you are going to get a double backer, which is great for magic effects, always appreciated. And you are going to get a blank card, so you can use that for a lot of different magic effects. You can use it as a card eraser, you can use it as the blank fan, there's tons of things you can do with it, or you could just use it as a cut card, or you could write a note on it, really up to you, but endless uses for those 2 gaffs, so good stuff. All right, now this deck is custom in the faces, and it's done not subtly, which I kind of like for once, so let's talk about the faces. We got a lot to get through. Right off the bat, you'll notice that most of the clubs and spades are bicycle standard, done in black with the standard bicycle pips. Your hearts and diamonds have been swapped out from being bright red to being bright orange, which really matches the theme of the deck. It also matches the tuck box and the back design, and I could not be happier about the black and orange faces. As well, you'll notice that certain cards in the lineup have additional customization. For example, the 3 of clubs says keep your friends close and your enemies closer. The 2 of hearts says Svngali Co, right in between the 2 pips. The 4 of spades says learn something new every day in a circle. And the court cards are also custom, being that the bicycle standard faces are still there, but the color has been swapped out to be all done in black, orange, and gray, which I think looks really nice, again, really matching the theme of this deck. There's also little subtle customizations made to their uniforms you can see in certain court cards. You'll also notice that the King of Diamonds has a 7 of Hearts reveal. The Queen of Spades has a 3 of Hearts reveal, which you can use for separate or the same effect. In general, really smart, just overall customization of these cards. That's what I'm talking about when I say design cards that have some standard basis or that are planted in standard but have just enough to make it unique. I mean, come on. All right, so that is pretty much it for how this deck looks. Let's switch angles and talk about how it handles. All right, so in terms of the handling of this deck, I can tell you right away it is extremely thin. So this deck is also on crushed bicycle stock, so it's probably about as thin as you can get with USPCC. It definitely feels thin and very soft. Other decks that are going to be on this card stock are the purple Gemini Casinos that I just recently reviewed, the Bicycle Insignia playing cards that just came out, and the Paperwave playing cards. I really like crushed bicycle stock, especially in terms of just taking it out of the box the first time you get the deck. Before you've worn it in, before you've done anything, the cards feel so smooth and just so thin and so soft. I absolutely love the feeling of a brand new deck of crushed bicycle cards. As you can see, springing the cards is extremely easy. These cards literally just feel like nothing. Like they're so light, they just feel like air. I love it. There's that new dribble sound. Yeah, you can definitely hear how thin they are. Listen to that. Just quiet, so quiet. The cards look great in a fan, as all USPCC cards do when they're brand new. This fan in particular is basically just orange. There's not really a lot coming out, which is totally okay. I like the contrast of the white and that orange color. I think it looks really good, but it doesn't have, you know, it doesn't have any additional appeal, I guess. It doesn't have a broken border or anything that makes the fans look extremely interesting. However, I do like the way the cards look in a spread. As you can see, they look very good because you do get some of that black writing coming through, which adds kind of another layer to the deck, and I really like that. These are so thin. I wish I could explain. The card's definitely Pharaoh best from top to bottom. Snappiness check. Yeah, there's like nothing to it. These cards are so thin and so lightweight that you almost can't hear them at all. Listen to that. In terms of things like card flourishes, I think this is a great deck for cardistry. Not only does it have that one-way back design, which makes every packet cut unique, it also catches the eye because of this orange, black, and white colorway. So it's very, very eye-popping, and I really like that. And of course, this deck does somewhat lend itself to Magic performance. Being that the faces are mostly standard, they're a little bit too custom, I guess, for a standard label, but they're standard enough to where you could definitely perform with this deck. And then as well, most of the numbered face cards are completely standard minus the orange on the hearts and diamonds, and then some of the customization that we talked about on a few select cards. So I definitely think that Magic and cardistry are something that this deck really lends itself to, which for people like me is perfect because I perform Magic regularly and I like to practice cardistry when I'm doing these videos for you guys. So here's what the cards look like under pressure. Ooh, very nice. I like that. Nice. I am curious to see what a giant fan looks like with this deck, so let's check that out. Okay, I like that. Not bad. Not bad at all. I wasn't really expecting much, but that looks pretty cool. I would have to say this deck is probably my favorite of any Alex Pandrea deck ever. This is for sure. I love the black and orange. Most of you know it's like my favorite color combination. I love the orange pips. I love the orange and gray quartz. The customization is ideal. I love this back design so much. It looks so good. There you go. Well guys, thank you so much for joining me for today's episode and watching my review of the new Svngali Up Your Sleeve deck by Alex Pandrea and Huang. In general, go pick this deck up. I will leave the link down below. If you pick one up for yourself, pick one up for me too. I definitely am interested in getting more of these, so let me know what you guys think. I feel like this deck is gonna divide some people, but in general, I absolutely love it, so I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. As well, if you want a chance to win 6 decks of sealed playing cards, including Jerry's Nuggets, the Parlor, the Oblique playing cards, Hinode, and the At the Table deck by Murphy's Magic, I will leave the video here where you can enter that giveaway. I will be announcing the winners for that at 2.5K, so the faster you subscribe, the faster you can win some cards. I hope that's enough to get you guys to like this video for me, and really do consider subscribing for more awesome videos just like this one. With all that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. I know I will. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.